Big congratulations to Colleen Ballinger. I have followed... Hi, I'm Katie. I have been following Colleen Ballinger for a long time, and I'm so happy for her that we are now in the Twin Mom Club. Our stories are very similar, and I was thinking this could be a good time to share my birth in Sweden story, because we have a lot in common. Like I said, both of our sets of twins were born at 32 weeks. We're both highly successful YouTubers. We're both drop dead gorgeous. The similarities just don't end. And here's another whoa, crazy thought. What if she watches this and I could give her some encouragement and hugs and perspective from someone on the other side of the world who's gone through a somewhat similar experience? Before I tell you the birth story, I need to give a little bit of context into our lives. So we had been missionaries with a theater company in Africa, in South Africa to be precise. Morton stayed behind in South Africa with our supervisor to finish up things so that our supervisor wouldn't be completely alone. There were still a few programs, theater performances that they had to do. So I went to Sweden from South Africa all by myself. I was largely pregnant, as large as you can be and still travel safely. And I spent a month in Sweden pretty much by myself. And I was lonely then, and I wish I could do that right now. There I was, a very heavily pregnant lady. I could not sleep. My husband finally came back, and it was so good to be together again. We had about a week together before we were in bed. We were sleeping. It was very hard for me to sleep at this point. I am awoken at 2 a.m. by Old Faithful gushing out of my body. I never experienced a thing like that. It's like peeing times 100. I rolled over. I think my water broke. He was like, huh? What? And I said it again. I said, call the hospital. And he said, I don't know how to say that in Swedish. I need to Google it. I'm like, no, describe it. They'll know what you mean. But he had to Google it. And he told them. And they said, yeah, just come when you can. Just make your way to the hospital. No stress. So that's what we did. We just threw some clothes into a bag. I wish I had been vlogging then. It would be so cool to be able to look back on these videos now. Okay, I gotta recreate this. Here's Morton's sweatshirt, but pretend it's a towel. I took a towel and I held it like this to catch the gushing to catch the gushing water, and waddled to the car like that. Oh man. We found out we were gonna have twins by the time they were 6 weeks old, and just like little arm buds, leg buds, bean creatures. So I had been prepared early on that I was probably going to have a C-section, and that they were probably going to be born early. I lose my train of thought. This is going to be the best video ever. I had also been researching when they're kind of getting out of the danger zone of it being a viable pregnancy, and I felt really confident that 32 weeks was old enough and that they would be fine. I knew that the odds were really in our favor there. So we were not stressed out. We drove to the hospital, we made jokes. We didn't have any expectations going into that day, going into what it would be like at all. It was really chill. Oh, look at these 3D pictures. Nightmare fuel! That looks like, that must be a leg up against her face. That was at 28 weeks. Oh, Morton wrote this. So that's so cool that I have this. I'm going to read Morton's words. 5th of August, 2016. They are here. Water broke at 2 a.m. We were admitted at the hospital in Visby at 4:17 by midwife. I can't read that. Throughout the morning, they tried to stop or delay contractions. At around 9 a.m., Dr. Carolina determined that dilation had begun and that one of the twins was in breech position and blocking the way for her sister. The doctor recommended an immediate emergency C-section. We gave our consent and they prepped Katie for surgery. They were very good with us, explaining what was happening and what would happen. They invited me to come and sit by Katie during the surgery and then step out with the kids as they got their first checks before being taken to pediatrics. I managed to reach my mom on the phone just as we were heading into surgery. The time was 9:32 a.m. Okay, so yes, they did try to stop contractions. I'm so glad I have this because it helps the memories to come back more. I also have my baby books in case I wrote anything useful in there. I really have not written much in these things. Sorry, Mom. Okay, I wrote this the next day. My daughters were born yesterday. They are so perfect. I am so in love. The best moments swirl around my brain and I never want to let them go. The moment the doctor examined me and really dug in there and said, I touched a baby's head. Don't I have such a poetic way with words? And the miracle of birth. They were examining me and they were checking it all out and giving me some medicines to stop contractions because they were happening. And a nurse was helping me breathe through them, and it was not comfortable. It was not pleasant, but it wasn't like, I'm gonna die! It was not so serious yet. But in one examination, the lady said that she actually felt a baby's head there. And that's when the poop got real. Like, whoa, okay, this is actually happening. How it all became real. They were coming now. I had been breathing through my contractions and waiting to see if they would be able to put off delivery, but nope. Amelia popped her sack at 2 a.m. and we were scrambling to throw things into bags and drive to Visby, leaving the hut. That's what they call the little houses that are attached, that are kind of on the property of... In Sweden, they're called stugas. It's a thing. Leaving the hut a mess of amniotic fluid and shock. Then there was lying on the gurney, my body numb, feeling the strange pulling and jerking motions of the C-section, but none of the pain, of course. Yeah. When I was on the gurney and they were wheeling me into the operating room, it was very disorienting. I was, of course, very tired, but alert. And the worst moment, it feels like, was when I was folded this way, and there were all these people around me, so many people, and the really huge shot going into my back, to make my whole lower half of my body numb. That was just really, it just felt so out of control, just so overpowered in that moment. But it was over quickly enough. And then my arms actually had to be strapped down. But I was so glad Morton was with me. He was there, and they also had a mask. There was also a mask maybe for more oxygen or something on my face. It feels like a dream. It feels like, did that actually happen to me? Have I actually had surgery? And the feelings of the C-section. Yeah. Now I remember. I always described it like, it feels like someone is just doing this. Like you're aware that the clothes are moving, but it's not, you're not aware that it's your body. It just feels like your whole insides are being like rearranged. This is the best part of the story. Here we go. I could see a bit of a reflection of what was happening in this lamp above me. I saw the reflection of our babies as they were pulled up. Like, I was aware that I could see a bit of reflection, but I was kind of nervous. I didn't want to see blood. I didn't want to see my insides, although now I am kind of curious. Suddenly, they're real. My kids that I've dreamed of, wanted my whole life. These kids that I just prayed every single day that their hearts would keep beating were real and there. And I just started weeping tears of joy, saying, baby, 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 baby. Morton was over there. It's weird because my body just felt so far away. So like, he's over there looking and near them. But so suddenly I felt kind of alone, but I was just so in my head of joy that I didn't feel bad. But there was this wonderful nurse holding my hand saying, it's okay, you don't have to cry. I'm like, no, I'm crying because I'm happy. But I was so thankful to have somebody hold my hand when Morton wasn't there. That was the most wonderful thing. I would love to do that for somebody, be there for someone and hold their hand while they're in this pure emotion state. Oh man, I wish I could have had a recording of their first cries like Colleen Ballinger had. The editing of her delivery video was just so precious. A really rough thing was waiting to meet my kids. They wanted to monitor my body and make sure I didn't have an allergic reaction to the thing that made my body numb. So they wanted to wait until I could move my legs before I could meet them. That was like 3 hours between them being cut through 7 layers of skin and organs to get them out. Like, one foot was moving, but I could not get the left leg to move. And it's the weirdest feeling to just not be able to control your body. I was like, move, move. And a nurse came in. We told them what the situation was. And she was like, oh, it's good enough. You can go in and see your kids. So I remember the first thing I did was just like yank off. I had a sports bra. Of course I do. I only wear those things. But I yanked it over my head, and it was all bunched up awkwardly around my arm so that I could have skin-to-skin contact with them. We each had a baby, and it was just such an amazing moment, holding this tiny, tiny little person. But the best thing in the whole world was having both of them on me and falling asleep on the chair, all propped up. I wish I could have stayed like that forever. Skin so impossibly soft. Everything so perfectly shaped. I had over 6 pounds of babies in me. The fingernails are tiny, the toes are tiny, but altogether they don't seem so little. I cannot believe they fit inside me. Plus all that water, plus the placentas. Now I'm pumping every 3 to 4 hours to get my milk to come in. 8th of August, and in it has come. I am so huge and uncomfortable. It feels like my breasts have turned to stone. I'm so glad that I wrote this. From that point on, we just got into a different rhythm of life, but I'm so thankful for how it worked in Sweden, and especially here on Gotland, that we didn't have to leave our babies at the NICU. We got to sleep at the NICU. There was a room next to the NICU room for parents, and it was just perfect. In the beginning, the nurses and midwives, sjuksköterska, took care of the babies through the night so we could sleep. There was so many machines, these little Velcro strips around their feet. There was constant beeping. They had tubes through their noses into their stomachs, and we had to do litmus tests on these little squares of paper to make sure that it was in the proper place of part of their stomach. Sometimes they would yank them out, and the nurses would take them out to another room to put it back in, and hearing them scream in pain was really hard. There were times when they didn't breathe and I had to push emergency buttons. Life was just a blur of pumping milk, cuddling kids, watching Big Bang Theory. Somebody had left all the seasons up to that point there. Singing to music, Morton cooking for us in the little kitchen for parents to use. Look at this. Here's a pen for context. Ooh, spices. Something else. Ooh, duh. ID card. That's how little. Something that was really special was that the nurses there really appreciated that Morton and I were so low maintenance, that they said that there's lots of people coming in who talk about feeling like they're in prison, who are just itching to get out and can't stand it, and we were so thankful for everything. We weren't in a hurry to get home because we didn't even have a home ready for us. Morton's parents let us borrow a house that's on their property, and we lived there for a few months until we went back to Covenant Players. Our life is very complicated. Well, it was. It's not so complicated now. But I didn't even see where we would live until we were coming through the door with the kids. So I guess if I had, to give some actual advice to Colleen Ballinger, aka Miranda Sings, like, it is what it is. They're just little, and they just need to grow, and you don't have to beat yourself up. Kids come when they want to come, and they're safe. I can't imagine the pain of having to leave them, but the best thing to do is just get rest when you can, just to be ready for them. Like, that's the real fact of suffering comes from just wanting your current situation to not be what it is. And if there's literally nothing you can do to fix your current situation, then you just have to say, this is what it is. Embrace the now. Because to live in the past of, oh, this is how it was, the babies were safe in my belly, the future of when we get home, everything's going to be better. It's going to be hard no matter what. But they're going to get bigger, they're going to get better, they're going to get stronger. Don't feel like a failure for something you literally have no control over. That doesn't make any sense. Be kind to yourself, because so many hormones are going on up in that body, and so many anxious thoughts are just saying you're not good enough, etc. And you just have to say, shut up. Some people imagine that their inner voice is like a 7th grade bully that you just say, shut up to. I don't have to listen to you.
Eleanor.
You're Eleanor? What's your name? Amelia. What do you like to do?
Babies.
Do you like babies? Well, hello. Nice that you're still here. I haven't done like a long talking head video by myself. I, of course, have my long content podcast conversations, but usually I do a vlog or a conversation. So, what do you think about this style? What do you think of this video? Let me know if you think it deserves a big fat like. This is from a video that I made celebrating their 5th birthday. It was very emotional to compile all these precious clips together. It seemed fitting to put it into this video. I hope you'll enjoy these few minutes of absolute adorableness. If you have any questions about the birth, the 6-week stay at the hospital, anything like that, let me know, and I could like make a questions and answers about this kind of video. So yes, if you like this, if you vibe with me, you should like subscribe or something. Just an idea I had. Hello. Hello, Oida. Are you okay? Hello.
That's really funny.
Do you like it?
Yes. Banana.
What? Best dress ever! What? Wow. Are you standing on the counter? Do you like it? Do you feel powerful? Okay. Yes. Let me. Oh no, you're bigger than me.
Yes.
What?
Amelia.
There's Amelia. Okay. You are on the swing and you need to be really careful, okay? Ah! Yay! Jump! Jump higher! Yay! Jump again! Jump again! Yay! Eat the baby food! Try it. What? Can you do a funny face? Do it again. Show me your hands. Oh goodness. They just covered everything.
What are you doing?
What did you get? Candy!
Fyrfaldigt lever familj och Elinor. De lever hipp hipp.
Hurra! 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 Hurra!
Och nu kan ni tyst önska er någonting och sen blåsa ut ljusen.
Hugs and nostrils of death. Yay!
This is pretty much the
best.
video ever made.